Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to just do a update on the G6 Dexcom. It's been a few months. I want to say I got it in October, and I live streamed me getting it and kind of injecting it and how I liked the injection process versus the G5. I have never used any other form of CGM, so there could be better ones out there. So my experience has always just been with Dexcom. I believe I started with the G4, now we're at the G6. And so I just kind of wanted to give a brief update of the pros and cons of the G5 and the G6, and whether I liked the G5 or the G6 better. I'm going to start with the cons first so that we can end on a happier note. So basically, the cons of having the G6, I would say one of the biggest cons for me is I do feel like it's not as accurate. I don't know if that is true for everyone who has used it, and I know that it is recommended for stomach use, and I tend to wear it on my arm. As you can see, I have mine right here. But I also used to wear the other one, on the G5, on my arm as well, and I don't feel like I had a problem with accuracy quite as much. I don't know, I hear it's supposed to be a better system, but the times that I've used it for calculation of not checking my blood sugar and stuff, I've had a few times where it was completely off. And so I check my sugar before I eat every single time, whereas the G5, I feel like more often I was a little more lax with it, and I felt like it was almost always like right on, within a few points of each other. But I've had it where my experience, at least, again, I don't know if this is everyone's experience, but I've had quite a few sensors, and I think I've gone through at least 2 or 3 batteries at this point, so it's not like I had like a bad batch. So I don't know if this is just something that I'm experiencing, but I would say that I've had more often times where it was incorrect than the G5 was, but that would be only still like 5% of the time, but it still is something that I would, the G5, I feel like I never had a problem with it not being right on. Another con I would say that I have with the G6 is, again, I don't know if anyone had this problem with the G5, but I never did, is as soon as you insert it, if you do it within 5 minutes of the last, when you shut down the sensor and restart this one, it will actually give you an error, because I think it's trying to think that it's the same sensor, and so it automatically won't work. I've had this problem come up only once, and then I couldn't figure anything out. I shut off all the Bluetooth, I shut down my phone, I got rid of all the apps, restarted it, nothing was working. They told me, we believe it was because you started it within 5 minutes of each other. I never had that problem with the G5, so they sent me a new one. The customer service with Dexcom has always been fantastic. There has been a wait where I, left my number and had them call me back the next day, but it's always been within 24 hours, and they've always sent me a new sensor if something were wrong. So I want to say that that is the fantastic part of always using Dexcom. And again, I've never used another company for CGM, but I would say that I really do like how Dexcom works as a company in that regard. I will say that that was something that I didn't like, is because now I have to tell myself, okay, if I'm going to change my sensor, I need to take my time with it, because I've been using a CGM for almost as long as having an insulin pump, almost, and so I feel like I'm just very fast with changing them out, and I don't really go slow, so I could do it within 5 minutes. So I really do, I take it off, I wait a few minutes, and then I re-go and start one. I am someone that always wears a CGM. I don't like the feeling of not wearing it now that I've had it so long. I would say that is kind of like something that I always have on, so I'm using it very quickly to switch to the new one. I don't really wait. And I would say that those are the biggest cons to me with going to the G6, because everything else to me is amazing. I actually at first didn't notice how slim it was in comparison to the G5 until I started wearing clothes and it wasn't getting stuck. When I was sleeping on my side, it wasn't hurting anymore. There's so many things about how they made it so that it's slimmer that I actually like really notice now that I've had it for a while. Another thing that I would say is fantastic about it is the insertion process. It still does not hurt. I've only had it hurt once or twice, and I will say that it was more so because it was too close to another insertion that I had, but obviously, like, because I do it so frequently, I do it every 10 days with this system, but because I wear it literally, 30 out of 30 days of the month, I would say that it is less time for me to feel like I need to go and change it. Because with the G5, it was painful. You have to pinch the skin a certain way, and it still, I feel like, was just always painful. And I really liked the fact that the G6, I almost am never like, oh, it's so painful, I don't want to do it right now, or I'm putting it off. Like, it's really like, okay, if I need to go change it, I just go and change it. And I think that is huge, because who wants to be in pain every time they change it? And I really think that overall it's amazing that you don't have to pinch your skin, that it's quick, fast, and easy. And I think that's fantastic. I think it's the biggest improvement, other than how small and slim it is. The other thing I obviously like about it is the fact that I feel like it's starting to integrate with the pump again. I know that the newer pumps, like the T-Slim, I have the T-Slim, I do not have the new version of it, but I like that it is integrated with it, because I used to have the Animus with the Dexcom, and I remember that integrated, and before this, I don't believe the T-Slim integrated with the CGM. So I think that's really cool that they're going more towards that direction again. It'll be interesting to see how Dexcom keeps innovating and keeps making it smaller or more accurate. I would say that overall, I love the G6. If you do not have a CGM, I swear you really should get one. It is a lifesaver. I can't tell you how many times that it's prevented me from having lows or highs that I was able to see and I was able to correct, and I was able to bring down faster or bring up faster than if I had just waited until it got to these crazy numbers. I will also say I love that it still goes to other people in my family. I've set boundaries on like what the limits are on each person, so if it's severe, then my parents will get it. If it's less severe, my husband will at least get it. And so it makes me feel safe. Like no matter where I go, someone would know where my sugar was if it was in dangerous levels. I think that Dexcom is a great company. Like I said before, I think that their customer service is great. This is something that I have had bad experiences with getting, pump supplies through different companies and such. And I will say that Dexcom has always had a very positive and informative way of being. And they've always, just kind of they've always figured out what was wrong with the problem, and they've always corrected the problem. And so I will say that I think that is the most amazing thing. Again, I can't speak for other companies. I don't know if, some of the other CGMs out there are better. I would love to hear your opinion on if you have another brand of CGM and how it matches up to the Dexcom. But I would say that I've loved this Dexcom. And I can't wait to see where Dexcom goes moving forward. And I really would love to know if you have any other questions about Dexcom. Maybe I can go ahead and answer some of those. And I will go back and post that live stream video of my original video of getting the Dexcom and kind of showing you about it. One other thing before I go, I do not use the I believe it's called a receiver thing where it gives me my blood sugar. I actually only use my phone, and I think that's fantastic because it's just one less thing that I have to carry around. So I can't really speak on some of the positives of that versus the old receiver. I think it looks cool, and I have it for backup in case there's a hurricane or a storm, or if I'm going to go out of town or something and I don't want my phone on me. But other than that, I pretty much never use it, never turn it on, and I I think I've only ever used it once just to see, and I really can't speak much about it. But anyways, I hope that this was informative. I hope it helped you know like some of the pros and cons I've had with having it. I think I've had it for quite a few months now to kind of give it a, a very honest response to everything that I felt about it. So I hope that this helps you in your decision making, maybe, or even if you want to upgrade to the G6, if you're at the G5 or the G4. And I just hope that you guys can give me any questions you might have so I can make some more of these videos if you feel like they help you. Give this a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.